My wife betrayed me not just once. First, it was with the neighbor. I thought that was the ultimate pain. But no, she betrayed me again with my own brother. It wasn't just betrayal anymore, it was humiliation. I didn't get angry. I didn't scream. I chose to end this game in a way they'd never forget. My name is Daniel, 33 years old. I once thought I was a lucky man, having everything an adult could want: a stable job, a cozy suburban house, and most importantly, a wife I loved with all my heart, Emily. We met in college. Emily was every guy's dream: beautiful, smart, lively. And me? An ordinary engineering student, nothing special except my sincerity. Yet, after study groups and fixing her computer, I won Emily's heart. When she said yes to my proposal after 3 years of dating, I believed I'd found my lifelong partner. We married when I landed my first construction engineering job. Life wasn't lavish, but it was filled with laughter and hope, or so I thought. Emily worked as an accountant for a private company, with stable office hours. I worked overtime, took side projects to ensure she didn't worry about finances. Perhaps my one-sided efforts made me boring and bland in her eyes. Things changed when Steve moved in next door. He was likable, talkative, a freelancer with a relaxed schedule. At first, I genuinely liked Steve. He often helped with small repairs, even invited us over for beers on weekends. Emily and Steve got along well. I was happy my wife had a friendly neighbor. I trusted her completely, believing marriage was the strongest bond. But I was wrong. Wrong about the smallest things. I didn't notice Emily's glances at Steve, their overly familiar laughter, or her excuses to stay home, to have Steve fix the electricity when I was away on business. I ignored it all because I trusted my wife. That day, I came home early due to a project issue. I didn't tell Emily, wanting to surprise her. But I was the one surprised. Steve's car was parked in front of our house. The bedroom light was on despite the late afternoon. Soft music played, mixed with my wife's familiar laughter. A sense of unease made me walk slowly into the house. I called Emily's name softly, but no one answered. When the slightly ajar bedroom door opened, I froze. Emily and Steve were entwined on our marital bed, the symbol of our love and trust. They panicked when they saw me. Emily hurriedly pulled the blanket to cover herself, tears streaming. "Daniel, let me explain." Steve, chillingly calm, said, "Just a moment of weakness, buddy." I said nothing. I turned and walked out of the house I once called home. I rented a hotel near the office, drowning in alcohol and pain for days. Emily called and texted relentlessly. She promised, cried, begged for a chance to make things right. Friends advised me to cut ties. But my heart was too soft then. After 2 weeks, I agreed to meet Emily. She knelt before me, saying it was just one time, that she realized her mistake and wanted to start over. Foolishly, I believed love could fix everything. I returned home, set strict rules, banned Steve from our lives. I thought I had everything under control. But I didn't know that a betrayer never stops after once. Brian, my biological brother, was the only family I had after our parents passed early. I always supported him, helped him start his career. Brian often came over for dinner, stayed over when he fought with his girlfriend. Emily was always friendly with him. I was happy about it. What's better than your wife and brother getting along? But then, I noticed odd things. Emily dressed up more when Brian visited. Subtle touches, sneaky glances I thought were just my paranoia after the Steve shock. Until I found Emily's secret phone, hidden in her wardrobe drawer. I trembled as I opened it. No password needed, as Emily foolishly thought I'd never find it. The messages made me want to vomit. "Is he on duty tomorrow? I miss you. He never makes me feel like you do. Don't worry, he still trusts you completely." My heart felt crushed. But this time, I didn't let emotions take over. I quietly installed hidden cameras in the house, recording Brian's dinner visits when I pretended to be away on business. Each clip, each sweet word between my wife and brother, was undeniable proof. I knew I had to end it, in a way they'd never forget. I changed. I was no longer the weak man. I didn't rage. I didn't confront. I didn't yell. I became cold. I reorganized my personal finances. I separated all assets from our joint account, bit by bit. I hired a private lawyer, not our family one, the best in the city for divorce and asset disputes. I photographed messages, saved recordings, videos. Everything was encrypted, stored on a separate hard drive, and a cloud backup. I contacted old media friends, just to ensure, if needed, the story wouldn't stay within 4 walls. And I waited. I didn't act rashly. I let them think I was still foolish, still in love, still blind. Our 6th wedding anniversary. Emily wanted a small party at home, inviting close friends, including Brian, of course. I nodded, smiled. She didn't know it was the last day she could smile in her old life. I arranged the seats, prepared a proper party. Friends, colleagues, some relatives came. Everything seemed perfect. Emily wore a white dress. Brian grinned brightly. No one knew what awaited them. As the party peaked, I stood, raising my glass. Thank you all for celebrating. I have an anniversary gift for Emily and Brian, the most special people tonight. Everyone clapped. Emily smiled. Brian nodded. I turned on the large screen in the living room. A video played, their illicit moments. Voices, laughter, even muffled moans from the hidden camera. The room fell silent. All eyes turned to the betrayers. Emily screamed, rushed to unplug the screen, but it was too late. The truth was exposed. I placed the divorce papers on the table. Thank you for 6 years of acting. Time to end the show. I turned and left, leaving behind a house filled with whispers, tears, and disgust. The next day, the video spread everywhere, from Emily's company to Brian's old friends. Emily was suspended, then fired. Brian was kicked out of his startup run by a close friend. His ex-girlfriend publicly cursed him online. Our family, once proud of 2 close brothers, was now too ashamed to face anyone. My mother cried, calling me. I'm sorry. I didn't know you suffered like this. Emily sent dozens of texts, emails begging forgiveness. Sometimes at midnight, I saw her standing outside my new home, soaked in rain. But I didn't open the door. I had nothing left to say. I sold that house. I left the city filled with memories. I moved to Colorado, starting over. I opened a small woodworking shop, something Emily once mocked as childish, unable to support yourself. I worked daily, touching each piece of wood, each curve, as if healing my heart's wounds. I started running, eating healthy, joining community meetups. I didn't try to forget Emily. I just lived, each day, to remind myself I deserved better. At a craft workshop, I met Mia. She wasn't strikingly beautiful, but her gentle eyes and smile made me feel at ease. Mia, an art teacher, had been through a divorce. She didn't pry, didn't rush. We had coffee, shared our hearts' cracks, and quietly healed each other. No grand promises. Just 2 wounded people, sitting together in peace. One Friday evening, grilling meat on the porch with Mia, my phone rang. It was Brian. I didn't answer. But a message popped up. I was wrong. I don't know how to fix this. You're the only one who ever believed in me. I put the phone down. No anger. No forgiveness. Just nothing left to say. One spring morning, I stood on the porch, watching sunlight filter through leaves, a steaming coffee in hand. I chuckled softly. There was a time I thought my life was over. Now I understand. Losing toxic things isn't loss, it's freedom. I forgave. Not for Emily. Not for Brian. But for myself, to live on, at peace and free. If you've been betrayed, broken, thought you couldn't stand again, remember, you're not weak. You're being cleared a path for a better life. Betrayal doesn't kill you. It only reminds you. True love begins with yourself.